Right, so in today's video we're back on this small lawn up at the top, and we're going to be doing a little bit of top dressing, and I'm going to be doing it in a bit of a different way to how I've done it before. But before we get into doing that, let's have a little bit of an update as to how the lawn is looking, and if I do say so myself, I think it's looking absolutely superb. If we get down right over the sward now, we've got a lovely density. It had an application of Integral around about 4 days ago, so the colour's looking amazing. It's had some true grass, so we've got lots of nice growth. We've fed the soil, it's looking boss. These patches are looking a little bit rough. That's where the dog has killed some of them. However, we're hoping they come back over the next few weeks or so. It might take some time, but now that we've removed the bulbs from this side and replaced it with bedding plants, it should hopefully be on the road to recovery. And even over this side, you can see that it's taken its time, but it is actually filling itself in. I don't think we're ever going to save these patches. I mean, that one's doing all right. This one, maybe not. But so far, so good. So before we talk about the top dressing, let's get the mower. Let's give this lawn a quick cut. Just drop the height ever so slightly. And this is where people tell me now that I'm going to lose a toe because I'm cutting the lawn in sliders, but don't stress. Put some socks on for a little bit of extra protection. So this is the stuff we're going to be using today. It's the 70-30 top dressing mix from Agrigem, not a sponsor. All this was bought myself, and as you can see, just bring it in close now, that it's quite a sandy mix. It says there's 30% organic matter in there, which there probably is, but for the most part it is very, very sandy. Now this is the top dressing I put on both lawns in the garden in sort of September time last year, and what I found was, with this being a particularly sandy mix, it's really difficult to spread around evenly when you're just using a rake or using a brush. I found that using a brush like this worked quite well last year, because what I could do was sort of brush the material around and try sort of my best to evenly distribute it, but it was tough and quite demanding. And what I ended up doing was putting quite a lot of top dressing down in one go, which just meant that the grass then had to go through a period of recovery. But today, the difference is that shouldn't be the case. So what I'm going to use instead is a drop spreader. Now this is something you typically use when you're putting seed down onto your lawn. However, what it's going to mean is that I can put a really light top dressing across the entire lawn, and it's not going to smother the grass. This spreader's got tiny little holes at the bottom, and obviously when you pull the handle, it's going to open those holes up, and you can adjust how much the open using the little toggle up at the top, and that way you can really control how much you're putting down. Last year when I did the top dressing in the autumn, it took around about 2 weeks for the grass to sort of fully recover, and even then it wasn't completely perfect because I got on with around about 6 bags of this stuff just on this tiny lawn, which in hindsight was well too much in one go. Now I do see some people lashing loads of top dressing down in one go, and you know, I get it because they're trying to get a level surface, but this surface is already pretty level. It's only really refining the surface that we have. But before you do get on with any top dressing, you have got to ask yourself, why are you doing it? Now, some people top dress when they're overseeding the lawn because they're trying to get really good seed to soil contact, and it keeps the seed nice and moist, ready for it to germinate. Some people get on because they're trying to actually just refine the level, and that's kind of what we're doing today. Over time, your soil's obviously going to settle, you're going to get dips, you're going to have high spots in there, and this sandy material is going to help to sort of balance that out. Well, you have got to think, does your lawn need to be as smooth as like a snooker table? Because for most people it doesn't. If you're using a rotary lawnmower and you're cutting your lawn from anywhere from sort of 2 inches up every week, then the lawn doesn't need to be completely smooth, because with the length of grass blades you have, those dips and bumps aren't going to make a difference to the aesthetic or cutting quality on the lawn. However, if you're using a cylinder mower like I am, then it is important, because with a cylinder you're cutting that grass much shorter, and the high spots and low spots become much more visible when you're cutting at such low heights. So this is certainly going to help us today, and what it'll also do is it's going to fall within that thatch layer. It's going to help the thatch to break down better into the soil, feeding the plants, all good nutrients that are in there. Thatch isn't a bad thing, it's not the devil, it's there to help feed your soils and help the plant to stay healthy. But this is going to help it along with that process, even though the thatch levels on this are pretty much fine at the moment. So I've got this drop spreader on setting 8. What I did do was I tested it on the patio over there before, just to make sure I was really happy with the amount that was being dispensed. We'll get a nice even coverage across this lawn. So there we go, that's literally all we're going to put down. It is a really tiny amount. You're talking probably 1 millimetre at most. However, what we are going to do is we're going to repeat this process more and more this summer. We're possibly going to get on once every 2 weeks, even maybe once every week, to add that bit of top dressing to it to continue to refine the level. And that way we're going to achieve quite a smooth surface whilst at the same time keeping a really nice looking lawn. I don't need to smother this in sand and wait the best part of 2 weeks for it to bounce back 3 weeks. I've still got the boss lawn I started with at the start of this video, just with now a little bit more top dressing on there. If I was cutting this lawn with a rotary mower, then this process would have been for nothing really, because 1 millimetre is not going to make a massive difference. But you can see, if we just getting a bit closer here, you can see where that top dressing is there, just sitting on top of the grass blades. We have got rain coming in the next couple of days, fingers crossed, and it's going to help wash a lot of this down through the sward to the soil and the thatch below. And that way it's going to be less abrasive when we get on and cut it next, because that is something to be mindful of. If you're applying a sandy top dressing and then you're getting on with a cylinder mower, or even just a rotary for that matter, what it's going to do is it's going to make the grass blades a little bit more abrasive because of those pieces of sand, and it's going to make your blades a little bit more blunt. So before you do get on and cut, just make sure you've either had a rainfall or just make sure you've actually watered the top dressing and help it to incorporate with the existing soil that you already have, and then you'll be boss, job will be a good one. So thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, or at least found it useful, then consider giving the video a like. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, because we are on a crusade this year to keep lawn care as simple as we can possibly make it, and as cost effective as we can make it too. The bag of top dressing I used just there then was just over £5, and I've applied probably, I don't know, 1/5 of the bag, not even that, maybe 1/10 of the bag. So you're talking like 50p, a pound's worth of top dressing on there, and in 5 weeks time I might have used around about £2.50's worth to £5. So yeah, pretty expensive. But no, we're keeping things simple, we're keeping it cheap, and the Instagram is in the description below. It's Novice Gardener YT. The TikTok is Novice Gardener Official. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching.